Hi everyone, I hope you're all okay. Well, I'm absolutely shattered. Just got back, well, it's been a couple of days back from Halls. 17 days out on my motorbike on that girl there. And it was so hot. I'm physically drained. I'm drained because of obviously my condition, and it was a big test for me, and I passed the test, but it's probably going to take me the rest of the week now to recover, as they say. So hopefully might get away in November. That'll be a little bit easier, and that's in a hotel and the bikes are provided and everything. I just have to get a plane out there and fly out. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get to do that. Some awesome roads where I'm thinking of going, and great people as well. Anyway, cup of tea. Oh God, why is it tea in England tastes better than tea abroad? Even when you take your own tea bags, must be the water and the milk. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, right. The girl, she did good. She got there. But there's a problem. Yeah. She did amazingly. Not too bad. Yes. Not too bad at all. Well, did you spot it? Yes. I dropped her. Oh, it's quite funny actually. When I look back now, it's really funny. You got to laugh. But we just packed up on a campsite, all ready to go. We thought we'd get away early while it's cool, because the temperature was unbelievable. And even when we packed up, we were talking like pushing the mid-20s in the morning. I think the highest temperature away was, I think it got to 39.5 on one place we was at on the southwest side of France. And there's a guy there who was a Yorkshireman, and he was a farmer married to, I think he was married, or he was with a French lady, and he was a farmer, and he just said he should have been here last week. The week before, it was in the mid-40s. I think it got to 46 or something. He said it was just ridiculous. They were working till 10 a.m. Then they all went home and then came back at 8 in the evening to carry on working through the night. Otherwise, they wouldn't have got anything done. So yeah, 39. I think that's the highest yes, it is definitely the highest temperature I have ever been in. And motorcycling, oh my God. We were right pussies. It was just too hot. That was air-cooled jackets and fucking everything. I can totally understand abroad where they walk around, drive around in t-shirt and shorts. Wasn't doing that myself, but oh God, I can understand why they did. But even then, you get windburn, don't you, and stuff like that. Anyway. Back to I dropped her. What a plonker. Yeah, so we were packed up, all ready to go, and my mate was in front of me. He was in front of me, and so how did it? So I I was behind him. I pedalled back a bit and then fired the bike up, let it idle for about 20 seconds and I got it running. Dropped it in gear, and as I set off I just did that to go round his bike. But the problem is I didn't do that enough, because what happened was I did that and cut in, and just as I was cutting in, my back pannier on the right hit his pannier, which then knocked my bike, and then, because these bandits are quite top heavy, and with all the panniers, and yes I had a top box and me dry bag on top and everything, there's a lot of top end weight, and once that gets past a certain point you ain't gonna fucking stop it. So I've got the bike, so I've done that, come cut in. I should have gone further round then cut back in, would have been perfectly fine, but oh no, not me. I'm gonna cut like that to try and do a little swerve around his bike. That would have been great if I didn't have panniers on. Would have been perfectly fine. But no. So I've come round, swerved, hit his pannier. Fucking bike went like that, which would be like that. And then I tried to rev out of it, and so I set off. But by then the bike's like that. I got my foot on the ground and I'm going, I've got no room. I've got no room to like blast out, to try and shoot off and then get the bike up straight. Was not going to happen. Slam. Straight on the side. Now the funny thing is I've got some drop bars for this bike. And they come out. They're from Germany, and they come out and they actually go across here, so to protect obviously the engine casing. And I decided not to put them on because you can see all this casing. So over the years it's quite common on bandits, all the paint chips off and everything, so all the covers weren't taken off, and sandblasting and etch priming and painting and repainting. So I was going to do that before I put the guards on, because I thought if I put the bars on, because they come out here and they come out here, so they protect if you drop it down. Anyway, obviously not if you, I don't know if you, how well you can see, it's pretty scuffed up, but I did have plenty of good quality black gaffer tape, so if it did crack it or whatever, I'm afraid it'd have to be caped in gaffer tape. And obviously the indicator. Now this was damaged before, if you remember, and I did a temporary repair on it. Well, it's well and truly bollocks now, smashed to pieces, so I think that took the brunt. And also broke my clutch lever, but this isn't a broken clutch lever. This is, well, it is a broken one. This is one that, this is an OEM lever that has the cutout inside, so that when you hit it, it's a weak point and snaps off. The lever I had a spare. I had this with me as a spare, and another full lever as a spare, which was a pattern make, because the original one that was on here was a pattern make, and it cracked here, didn't break here like these are designed to do. Yeah, so I put the pattern make on, but this adjuster here adjusts how much throw you was at, and even this set on full, it felt like the biting point was in like the last bit there. Oh, it was horrible to ride, especially at slow speeds. Riding on the road normally, changing gear and is fine, coming up to a, but as soon as you slow right down and you're in second gear and first gear territory, this was horrible. So anyway, I put the old OEM broken one on, which I had as a spare, just in case. And obviously with it on the setting I have it on, it was great because it felt like the biting point was about here rather than being up here. And it's to do with this peg here. It's like a square. It's got 4 plate points, it's got a square, and each side is a bit shorter than the other, which affects the way the clutch lever feels. Yeah, so I'm going to put the pattern one back on, but on the old pattern one I'd filed the flats down. So because I didn't have anywhere where I could, there's a little bush that goes in here. You knock that bush out and there's a spring. I had nothing to, couldn't find anything where I'd knock it out. So I just thought, you know, for what it is, it's easier just to put this back on. At least I know how it feels. The feeling is okay. So it got me. She got me over. She got me over. Yeah. So bit of work to do on her. Yeah. So did I enjoy myself? Yeah, I did enjoy myself. Not quite how I planned because it was so hot. Didn't do much riding at all. Once we were on the campsite, if we stayed on the campsite for more than a couple of days, we'd go out and venture out and explore the area where the campsite is and stuff like that. It was just too damn hot, and to be honest with you, I'm only just I'm not even recovered, just starting to recover now. So hoping after the weekend I'll be back up to speed again. But yeah, it did take a lot out of me. But like I said, I got through it and it was fine. And yeah, so I've got a bit. So now the plan was, when I come back, was I was going to put the Bandit to one side, start finishing the mods and updates on my Suzuki RE. Oh, I've been out on the RE. Went out on Tuesday. My mate had to drop a package off. If he sees this, he'll be laughing. No, it wasn't the D word. They were Ray-Bans. So he was told. Some tourist who went to a particular campsite. The last campsite I went to was owned by an English guy, and some visitor left their overpriced sunglasses, Ray-Bans, and because we were going back to the UK, wanted to know we could post them when we were in the UK, but we didn't post them. It was an excuse to go out on the RE and follow my mate. And what turned out to be probably a 40-minute ride for me ended up being like 2.5 hours, because I need to clock some miles up on that bike. But that was the plan. I was going to start working on the RE and stuff like that. But I've changed my mind again. I'm a proper bitch, aren't I? Hey, changed my mind. I'm going to start back on the Aprilia RS125. I've had some little bits of information that I've been after, clarification more than anything, about the bike. So she is going to be worked on. Yeah, so the reason why is I just don't have the room. I just don't have the room. I need to get her in a position where she's on the road, or roadworthy. We'll get her MOT'd, get her on the road, and then move her on. I'm not talking prices or anything yet, it's far too early, but there's things that need to be done to her to get her on the road, and someone who can spend a little bit more time on her can do it. As long as she's roadworthy, everything works. Those that have been following the Baby Aprilia project, you'll see that what sort of stuff's been done on her. Yeah, I need to get it done. The carb does need to come back out again, which I will be doing. I wasn't 100% happy. It seems to intermittently reach out. I think that might be the float settings. It's a bit hard to get the information on the float settings here. The float settings, when no use asking Google, because when you ask Google, the float height settings range from 7mm to 24mm, which is no use to no fucker. That's AI for you. So somewhere along the line, someone's wrote something, but specifically the year and the make, the type of carb as well. So I got a guy who contacted me, and he seems to know what he's talking about. I must admit I'm not that well up on these bikes, but I'm going to check anyway when the bike's ready to work on again, which will be soon after this video. I'm just going to whip the carb out and just double check the jets and everything and the float setting. Apart from that, the bike starts up. If you're running it on just unleaded petrol, the bike starts up first time, no problems. Obviously when it's colder it might take a couple of cranks, but in this weather, the heat we've got here, the bike would start up first time on 5% ethanol. It might take 2 or 3 cranks to fire in, but once it's fired, it's fine. E10, fucking nightmare. Seems to crank for ages and ages. But when it fires up, it will run on E10. But it's just fucking shit. The bike wasn't really designed to run on E10. Anyway. Yeah, so again, change of plan. For me to happily work on my RE, I need a bit more room, and the RE is stored somewhere else. But I need to get the Aprilia done and get someone to buy it. As I've stated before, it's not probably something a younger guy will have, because the insurance on these are fucking ridiculous for a young person. So it might go to someone who's may want it for parts. It's definitely worth more stripped down than it is to sell as a whole. I could strip this down and flog these parts off and have absolutely no problem getting rid of the parts. But then again, that's time. You strip the bike, you've got to have somewhere to store it. The engine alone, I could get 500 quid, 600 quid for the engine alone, if not more, because it's done fuck all miles. It's only done 6,000 miles. Worst case scenario is whoever buys the engine will just do a top end rebuild, just put a new barrel, piston rings, or if the barrel's fine, it might just be new piston and rings. I've even seen them with just having new rings put on because the piston's been fine. But that's because normally Aprilia recommend changing the piston and rings every 10,000 miles. Well, this is only done just over 6,000 miles, so if you did that, put a new piston and new set of rings on and break the rings in, it's probably good for another 10,000 miles, isn't it? But yeah, that's with the engine out. But it's a case of stripping everything down and the time, strip everything down, finding somewhere to store the bits, photographing it all, putting it on eBay. But the bike's a runner. It's a good little runner. Apart from what the insurance, for the insurance for me, it'd be pennies. Probably only about 40 quid fully comp for me on that. Yeah, so that's the plan. We're going to concentrate on that. Then when that's done, I've ordered some new bits for the Bandit. So the new bits are new indicator, got that coming. I need to change the clutch lever, which I'm going to use the original pattern part for. Sorry. My mate says I talk too much on the videos. That tea tastes really nice, so it must be true. Yeah, so I've got indicator to change. When I get around to it, I'm on the order some casing gaskets to take the casings off, so they can all be cleaned up and everything and that. Because while I'm doing that, I'll be riding the RE. But there's bits I want to do on the RE. So before I do the casing seals, which means the bike's going to be off the road for a reasonable amount of time, but then I won't be in any rush if I've got another bike to use, and I need to get the mileage up on the RE because I want to prove it. It's done a sweet FA, but I did get it a year when I bought it. It had NAFO mileage on it. NAFO, someone bought it, rode it about couple hundred miles, and then realised it wasn't for them. And then, of course, they must have lost a fortune on it, selling it back, because when I bought it, it was if you don't count the Suzuki's special price offer at the time and the actual book price offer, it was £2.5 grand cheaper, and it was only a year old. I've ridden the bike up to here. It's had its first service, oil and filter change. It's supposed to have its next service at 7,500, but I'm going to run it because that engine does run quite hot, but it's not too bad. I'm going to, when it gets to probably it's not even got to 1,000 miles yet, it's not even broken. So what I'm thinking of doing is changing the oil at 3,000 because I can. It uses the same oil filters as the Bandit, so I'm going to change the oil and the filter. Run it up to 7,500 miles, and that's its main service point then. So then, yeah, but that's in the future. And then once it starts getting to 7,500, once it's got to like 3,000 miles, and then I'm going up to the next limit, which is 7,500 miles is the next service limit after that, which is a main service limit. I may consider, if I go away, taking that bike instead of the Bandit. But before I do that, I've got to get the I've got the pannier racks and everything to fit. So before I do that, I'd have to load up the bike, check all the suspension out, check the drop on it and everything, and make sure it rides okay with the weight on. Because this Bandit, I know what it can do. I know the settings, I know what the suspension settings are that I use and everything for when I go away, to what I normally have it set up for just normally riding. So all that would have to be done and worked out and felt and made sure that the bike feels okay. And if it does, then maybe take it away. But it just seems like so much to do. So I won't going to get a clear picture until the Aprilia's done and out of the way. Or should I say put to one side, and then I can concentrate on the RE then. In the meantime, I'll still take her out for some short trips that won't go miles, won't go hundreds and hundreds of miles away. Because if anything does happen, I've got to get back. I do have breakdown cover. Anyway, bit of a boring bit. And I'll see you next time. Hopefully we'll be, next main video will be back on the Aprilia. There's a couple of videos to go before this one. No, a video or so to go before this one, but yeah. So the idea is we're going to be back on the Aprilia, and let's get her moved on to a new owner. In the meantime, let's be safe out there. Oh, that's the wrong saying, isn't it? My saying is, let's be careful out there. And I'll be back.